My name is Tyler Richards. I'm a candidate for Holy Orders in the Episcopal Church, and I am a seminarian at the School of Theology at Sewanee, the University of the South, in Sewanee, Tennessee. I'm a senior at the seminary and am entering my last semester of classes before graduating and returning to the diocese. Normally a blog post is enough for me to get out whatever angst and irritation I'm feeling about a current event or an issue. But it's one thing to put your words out there, and it's quite another to say, on camera, for the record, how you're really feeling. Which is why you find yourself seeing me on camera in an intimate setting like this one, my home in Sewanee. A lot has been said recently about the refugee crisis going on in Europe and the Middle East and how the United States should or should not get involved. I even posted a blog about it earlier, but I wanted to go on record about something. I am a Christian, and I support bringing these refugees to the United States. I've been hearing a lot of talk from both sides of the issue, the people who are for this and the people who are against it. The people who are for it have their reasons just like the people who are against it, and that much is not surprising. What is shocking to me is the justifications I've been seeing for not bringing the people in. They're all Muslims. They're all terrorists. They're all going to bring Sharia law. They're going to turn on us. This is a Christian nation, and that's where I have to stop. I cannot take the argument that we are a Christian nation any longer. When we have to deal with governors closing their borders, or rather attempting to close their borders to prevent these people from coming in, I have to stop listening. Back during World War II, we turned back a ship trying to dock in Florida carrying Jewish refugees. I'm not convinced that times have changed that much since World War II. The question with what would Jesus do with the refugees has also been floating around. This also strikes me as ludicrous. It's very clear what Jesus would do with these refugees, because Jesus was Jewish. Jewish custom and culture mandated that you give hospitality to the stranger, alien, and one without a home. For Jesus, this issue was pretty cut and dry. He tells the parable of the Good Samaritan to drive this point home. This parable is found in Luke's Gospel, and it's chapter 10, verses 25 through 37. Just then a lawyer stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he said, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" He said to him, "What is written in the law? What do you read there?" The lawyer answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." Jesus said to the lawyer, "You have given the right answer. Do this, and you will live." But wanting to justify himself, the lawyer asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus replied, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell into the hands of robbers, who stripped him, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a priest was going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So likewise was a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, he passed on the other side. But a Samaritan, while traveling, came near him, and when he saw him, he was moved with pity. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, having poured oil and wine on them. Then he put him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said, 'Take care of him, and when I come back, I will repay you whatever more you spend.' Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers?" The lawyer said, "The one who showed him mercy." Jesus said to him, "Go, and do likewise." There isn't a question of what should be done with these refugees who are suffering and fleeing their homes. Jesus himself was forced into exile when only an infant. A paranoid Herod went on a killing spree because of his fear of the infant Christ child. And this is in the 2nd chapter of Matthew's Gospel, verses 13 through 18. Now after they, and the Gospel's talking about the Magi, had left, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, "Get up, Take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you. For Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him." Then Joseph got up, took the child and his mother by night, and went to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what had been spoken by the Lord through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I have called my son." When Herod saw that he had been tricked by the wise men, he was infuriated, and he sent and killed all the children in and around Bethlehem, who were 2 years old or under, according to the time that he had learned from the wise men. Then was fulfilled what had been spoken through the prophet Jeremiah. A voice was heard in Ramah, wailing and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be consoled, because they are no more. Jesus is very clear that what we do to the least of his children, including the ones that are Muslim, we do to him. Closing our borders does nothing but to turn our backs on these people, and that, in and of itself, is sinful.